question, and it's to all candidates, and so we'll go left to right this time. Dallasport has a serious problem with nuisance properties that reduce property values for everyone else. Will you increase the budget of code enforcement? Go ahead.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Yes.
Okay, Dallasport has a serious problem with nuisance properties that reduce property values for everyone else. Will you increase the budget of code enforcement so that something can be done?
Starting down here.
With Ron.
Nuisance properties. When I served as commissioner in 93, 96, we put in the nuisance department because of the issues with nuisance. The question is just making sure we follow through. When will we increase the budget? At this time, I can't answer that because I don't know what their budget is. I know they have a person involved with it, and I don't know how much within the prosecuting attorney's office in the process. But I believe it will be looked at with the rest of the budget.
Dan?
I know I can answer that better, and I really wish you'd make me answer the question. I'm going to answer the question. You're not going to like my answer, but I'm always honest with you. The answer is no. I am not going to add more budget to the code compliance department because we don't have any money. Simple fact of that. The other reason is I would have to question how many active nuisance complaints you actually have in Dallasport. You might look at a property and think it's a nuisance, but there's a county policy on what you have to go through in order to abate or clean up or get restitution for said nuisance. First off, you have to have 2 residents file complaints and they have to live within a mile of the property. So are there, whatever property you're talking about with your question, are there 2 complaints on file? You probably should call code compliance and find if there's 2 complaints, because if there's only 1, it's sitting there waiting for another one. Contact your neighbor, have him fill out a form. Now there's 2. Now we can start. We have been, since the last 2 years when we put in the new code compliance guy, who's been there about 1.5 years, he has done a tremendous job. We've focused on not so much the stick, but the carrot. And if you don't like the carrot, we're going to hit you with a stick. So we haven't had to go in and clean up any properties and spend 50 grand to clean up a property that we'll never get tax money back out of. We've worked with, and this was my idea, we worked with Republic Services to get vouchers. So they now give us 300 vouchers where you can take a load of trash to the transfer station for nothing. So our code compliance guy can go give vouchers to these nuisance people. We also have 5 drop boxes, the big contractor drop boxes. Again, my idea, working with Republic. So our code compliance guy can say, hey, Republic, I need a drop box at this place in Dallasport. My wife's hollering that this microphone's too loud. So that now if we have someplace and the person doesn't have any money to haul their own trash, we can drop a drop box there. But we have to make sure they have 2 complaints. And then they get directed where we're currently reworking the fine schedule. So if they flat refuse to qualify or refuse to do anything, and just like, nope, I can't do anything, I got glaucoma, I can't lift up a box. Then we can issue fines or whatnot. But the last thing we want to do is to actually spend money to abate the property, because what happens is we end up spending twice as much as the property's even worth. And 30 seconds, I'll try to be short. And we have the previous board had a very bad track record with abatement companies. So now when we say, what will it cost to clean up this property? They say $3 million. Because the last time it was $20,000, and then they found a bunch of asbestos and needed more money, and the commissioner said pound sand. So they left the abatement company holding the bag, and the abatement company now overestimates every project they have. Complex, contact me offline, that's all I can talk about.
Okay, Dan was the first one to get a stop.
I tried not to.
Dan, you need me to donate a few seconds to you?
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, so that's a personal property rights. That's a rights issue, basically. I've met the gentleman that handles the complaints there in Goldendale. It is complaint driven, and I don't think they need more money. Basically, when there's an issue, it's kind of difficult. Like imagine you have an elderly grandparent or something like that stops taking care of their place as much, or there's an issue or death in the family for whatever reason. You know, some of the places that are really bad, it's drug or mental health related. But imagine that's in your family and something's going downhill, or it's been even if it's been years and years and years. You don't want law enforcement to go get involved and to do something like that. So the best way to take care of it is community-wide. You know, the community cleanup that we have at Binge and White Salmon, that worked wonders. And I know churches, groups, and things like that, they reach out to places that are of concern, that are, you know, whether it's an eyesore or whether you notice someone struggling to maintain their yard or paint their fence. So always as a county and as good citizens, we should be looking for that route first, because that is extremely efficient, financially responsible, and what a wonderful place, right? Rather than looking to give someone a ticket or cause a problem for them, that we help them out. And so I'd like to seek that, because we do have code compliance, and I think it's somewhere, there's 60 issues right now. And I don't know if that was just Goldendale or if that's in Klickitat County. And they visit them and they talk to them and they visit them again. And it's just a kind of an ongoing thing that, but they have personal property rights. So unless there's rats or some major odor that's being invasive and a problem with your rights, then it's a sticky situation. So always being a good citizen and a good neighbor is the best way to handle it. Thank you.
Amanda?
I'm pretty sure the actual question was, would I be willing to raise the salary of our code compliance officer? Is that what?
Actually, no, will you increase the budget of the code enforcement?
Oh, the budget of the code enforcement. I honestly have not seen that budget and cannot speak clearly or intelligently on that, so I'm not going to give you some baloney answer. I have met Jorge, or George as some know him, and he's a really gentle man, and I know that the county does take a neighborly approach to all of these complaints firsthand. And I think Todd hit the nail on the head with some of these ideas. Like, we are a community and we can come together, but some of these projects are a little out of our hand. And if I'm a neighbor and my neighbor is not being very neighborly for months on end, and I have to look at it and smell it, I am gonna want some support and somebody to come in and help me deal with it. I am curious to look at the budget for that so I can know more. Thank you.
Just to clarify, the 2 complaints rule is for your grass being too tall or something. The county commissioners can take executive action if it's a leaking septic tank, waste running out on the property, something like that, and we do. So just so you know the difference. And then the other problem we have is all complaints have to go through legal and be routed appropriately, so they take time.
Anybody want to challenge that?
No, that sounds like brute bureaucracy to me. I mean, that's